My name is Elena. I am 35 years old, and for a long time, I believed my life was a perfect picture. I have a beautiful home, a bright 7-year-old son named Leo, and a husband, Mark, whom I loved with my whole soul. We were married for 10 years. To me, Mark was my best friend and my rock. I thought I knew every corner of his heart. But one rainy Tuesday, the picture cracked. It started with a simple mistake. Mark left his phone on the kitchen table when he went to take a shower. It kept buzzing with new messages. I thought it might be his mother or a work emergency. When I looked at the screen, I didn't see a name. I only saw a series of hearts in a message that said, "I miss our time together last night." The world seemed to stop moving. My hands turned cold. I felt a sharp pain in my chest, like I couldn't breathe. When Mark came out of the bathroom, he saw me holding the phone. The look on his face told me everything. He didn't even try to lie. He stayed silent, his head down, while I felt my entire world fall apart. "Who is she?" I asked. My voice sounded like a stranger's. "It was a mistake, Elena," he whispered. "It didn't mean anything. I was feeling stressed and she was just there." "She was there," I repeated. "And our 10 years? Our son? Were we not there?" That night, I told him to leave. I couldn't bear to look at him. He packed a small bag and stayed at a hotel. For the next week, the house felt heavy and quiet. Leo asked where Daddy was, and I told him Daddy was working away for a few days. My heart broke every time I saw Leo's sad face. Friends and family started calling. My sister told me, "Elena, men are weak. Forgive him for the sake of the family." My mother said, "A home needs a father. Don't be too proud." But it wasn't about pride. It was about the truth. How could I sleep next to someone I no longer trusted? Trust is like a glass vase. Once it shatters, you can glue it back together, but the cracks are always there. Weeks turned into months. Mark moved into a small apartment nearby. He came to see Leo every Saturday. At first, I wouldn't speak to him. I would just open the door, let Leo out, and close it again. I felt angry and hurt. I felt like I wasn't good enough. But then, I noticed a change. Mark didn't stop trying. He stopped making excuses for what he did. He didn't just send flowers or expensive gifts to buy my love back. Instead, he started showing up in small, quiet ways. He would fix the broken fence in the garden while I was at work. He brought over Leo's favorite books and spent hours helping him with math. One evening, Mark asked if we could talk. We sat on the porch, watching the sunset. "I know I destroyed the most important thing I had," Mark said softly. "I don't expect you to forget. I don't even expect you to love me again. But I want you to know that I am doing the work to be a better man. For Leo and for myself." I looked at him. He looked tired. The arrogance was gone. In its place was a quiet humbleness. I realized that while I had been hurting, he had been changing. He was learning that a family is not something you take for granted. It is something you protect every single day. Over the next year, we began to talk more. We went to counseling. I told him about my fears, and he listened without getting angry. I realized that I still loved him, but it was a different kind of love. It wasn't the blind, perfect love of my 20s. It was a mature love that understood that people are human and people make mistakes. One afternoon, Leo was playing in the sprinkler in the backyard. He was laughing, and Mark was laughing with him. I watched them from the kitchen window. I felt a sense of peace that I hadn't felt in a long time. The anger was gone. The bitterness had faded. Mark walked up to the window and looked at me. "Can I come home, Elena?" he asked. I took a long breath. I thought about the cracks in the vase. They were still there, but maybe the vase could hold flowers again. Maybe the cracks were just part of our story now. "Yes," I said, "you can come home. But we are starting a new book, Mark. Not just a new chapter. A new book." He took my hand, and for the first time in a year, I felt safe. Forgiving someone isn't about saying what they did was okay. It's about deciding that your future is more important than your past. We are a family again. We are not perfect, but we are honest. And in the end, honesty is the only thing that can truly mend a broken heart.